What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sensei Glove, the bald head black anime nerd, back with my review of One Piece manga chapter 9 for the 9, Samurai. And while this was not the fire chapter that I had hoped for it to be, it was a very decent setup chapter in and of itself. I believe the latter half of the chapter was, more information heavy and kind of was more of an exposition. The beginning half was more of a setup for the latter half of the chapter. It was decent overall, but it just wasn't what I expected it to be coming off of our 2-week long break that we just got. But still a decent chapter nevertheless. The chapter starts out basically going back, like we all knew, to 2 nights before, giving us context to kind of what happened, why no one was at the meetup spot, why all the Red Scabbards are, in disarray, they're crying, what the fuck is going on. So we find out that 2 days before, everybody's linking up, everybody's making sure shit's straight. Apparently, the symbol that was on the card basically stated that the 2 birds basically mean we're gonna meet up before sunset. We learn later on in the chapter that at night, the night before everyone arrived, everything was torn down. So that means that everyone now, at the very moment that the Red Scabbards are at this bridge, everyone is now trying to link up and figuring out that it's all fucked. We also learned that the Witching Hour boy has been stealing food and supplies, which Osuru, who is Kinemon's wife, basically knows, okay, this is what they must be doing. Kinemon, you must be here. I'm gonna cover for you. Hold'em makes his appearance again. He has, he's bandaged up or whatever because he did take a fat ass L back, and he was covering that, like, where's all this food going? Why is it not in the capital? This, that, and the third. Osuru takes the rap for it. We find out later that can prove fatal. So everybody's setting up there, and then we go 1 day before, which was obviously what we knew of the Straw Hats linking up. We get Luffy, Brook, Chopper, all those guys standing there at the bridge. They're putting on some new samurai armor. It was a nice callback to a cover page back on chapter 310, where that was the first time, and I'm doing my color reread right now. So I actually just read this chapter 310, where they actually had the kimonos on, and you could actually see that Luffy's kimono, or Luffy's samurai armor rather, had Kazoki like symbols all over it. So that was a decent ass callback. So they're all putting on that armor. They're saying, yeah, look, I feel like I can really take down Kaido now. And then we get the most hilarious moment of the fucking chapter, where Sanji basically confronts Zoro like, hey, look, you gonna put on the armor as well? Zoro like, no, it's just gonna slow me down. This nigga Sanji say, wait, you might need it because your bounty's a little bit lower than mine now. Zoro must have got too mad. He calls out Enma, slashes off the coastline again. Like, what's up, nigga? You wanna go? Oh my god, man! These are the moments that I fucking love with One Piece. Like, that shit, funny as hell. I felt like their interactions up until now have been not normally how it usually is, and maybe I'm speaking from a place of, like I said, I'm doing my reread, so I'm seeing a lot of this. Like, pre-time skip, there was a lot of this. Post-time skip has been mostly serious for the most part. So it was very refreshing to see that type of camaraderie again. I love Zoro and Sanji's relationship. It's fucking hilarious. But from that point, we get to a point that is kind of controversial for me, because obviously we know there has been a huge theory going on that Zoro is going to leave the crew once everyone finds out about Big Mom. Well, no. Because Luffy tells Chopper and everybody basically, well, Big Mom is here, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned that Jinbei hasn't come back. And while a lot of people do give a fuck about Jinbei, I fucking don't. So, fuck that nigga. But it is good that they finally brought him back up, because he is an integral part of, the Straw Hats at this point. Zoro really didn't have much to say. It kind of was brushed past the fact that Big Mom is here. Now, granted, they probably don't know that there is an alliance between Big Mom and Kaido at this point, but the fact that she's even here is wild. But apparently it's not wild, because they just brushed past it. Zoro still holding firm, like, yeah, he would be a nice addition to the crew, which I fucking love, because that means Zoro knows, look, nigga, I'm gonna fuck who you bring to this crew, I'm still that nigga. And I will know that I want anybody to know that I'm still that nigga. But I did want more of a reaction from that, but we didn't, so that theory basically goes in the fucking garbage. I myself also thought that there was gonna be a big snafu, so I have to put my own fucking foot in my mouth. So, you know, it is what it is. You stand on your hill, and then when you get shot off the hill, you fall in the water, you walk to the ground and start all over. It's all good. After that, we go back to Kinemon and the others at the, you know, meetup spot. So we see, you know, obviously they're still crying, they're still struggling to figure out what the fuck is going on. Obviously, we saw in the last chapter, Inarashi was picking up a boat. That hasn't been explored. Like, they didn't continue with the boat. It was more dialogue this time. Back to Momo saying, no, look, let's just try it again. Let's do it another day. And Kinemon's like, no, nigga. Which is the same shit we were saying. Like, we're not going to be able to do this another time. Next year is going to be too long for us to wait. They're going to find out what the fuck happened in Udon. And Kaido's just going to off us one by one. We won't have another opportunity like this. And that's very fucking real. And also he speaks to his pride. Look, you're fucking up our pride. Like, this is bad. The Basura town, which is the town that Osuru was in, covering for all the the food stealings and thefts and things like that, was destroyed. Kinemon says, my wife was there. So now we find out, fuck, Hold'em done blew up the damn town. Oh my god, that's some sick shit. While I don't think Osuru's dead, I love that this is pushing towards the Kinemon's like conviction. It's like, my wife is fucking dead, and I'm still trying to avenge Oden right now. Like, what the fuck? Like, Kinemon tells him, if you don't want to be a part of it, you go be back with Hiyori. Like, just let us go do what the fuck we gotta do. Everyone's crying. It's a very sad scene. And then, you know, Kinemon kind of ends it off with, look, we have failed him and we need to redeem him. And that kind of starts the backstory that we're going to get next chapter. Aside from that, find out Orochi, how he basically disrupted everything. He sent out teams the night before to blow up all the bridges that would connect to the meetup spot. The bridge between Ringo, the bridge between Udon, the bridge between Kibi. All of these places he destroyed, as well as destroying the Thousand Sunny, which we know he didn't really destroy the Sunny. He was probably more than likely just hitting the rocks, and now the Sunny's kind of caved in, essentially, because you're not just blowing up the Sunny, though. That's not fucking happening. Destroyed the ships. He destroyed all of that shit. And he thought he was smooth. It was a very integral moment for Orochi's character, because up until this point, I personally thought he was a fucking dumbass. Like, his character design was fucking wacky. He looked stupid. He just looked like another trash-ass, spandom-ass character that, you know, was kind of throwaway. But no, he actually, you know, is like with it. He's very tactical in what the fuck he's doing. He wants to fuck up all of their ways of getting to where they're gonna go with the information that he gathered. And he knows, look, if they are all back, that means that they've been sent to the future. We didn't have any heads to claim to prove that they were dead or not. All of this shit with Lady Hiyori, like, it's just all coming together. And the shit with Toneyasu, which kind of made the public look at him kind of real funny. But he said, fuck all of that. I don't give a fuck how y'all look at me. I have the power. That's the only shit that fucking matters, my nigga. So that really made me look at Orochi in a different light. Like, okay, you still look ugly as fuck, but you be thinking at least, you know what I'm saying? So shortly after that, we go into what I presume to be the best backstory in One Piece. It has to be, which is the Oden backstory. And the reason why I say this is because Oden is so connected to so much shit that is like super important to the story of One Piece that I feel like Oda would do us a disservice not to at least tap on every single bit of that information. The reason why I say that, obviously we know Oden's a part of the Kazuki clan. The backstory starts back in 39 years ago. We get the panel of him basically walking down the street and all the fucking people of Wano are saying, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife. They're basically saying that, and it's 39 years ago. We know that God Valley incident was 38 years ago. So this backstory is taking place before the God Valley incident. And I love that Oda took us back that far, because that makes me think he's going to give us a true backstory. A backstory that leads all the way up to the night of. Not just a backstory of the night of. And the reason why he's doing it is because Oden is tied to so much shit. He's tied to just way too much for it to just be, oh yeah, this is what happened when he encountered Kaido. And that leads me to believe Oden was involved somehow in the God Valley incident. If he wasn't there directly, because he's tied to Roger, he's tied to Whitebeard, who were both there. He's tied to Shanks. Like, if he wasn't there directly when the incident happened, he looks old enough to have been there. He was obviously in Wano a year before, but he could leave. We know he left Wano. If he wasn't there directly, he probably showed up shortly after, unless Whitebeard showed up to Wano and then recruited him. We don't really know how it could have played out, but I feel like Oda's gonna expand on that. We know that the Kozuki clan is the clan that builds the poneglyphs. We know that whatever the reason that the Wano is closed off is because of the Kozuki clan and some things that have happened. I think that ties into what they know, and I think they know about the Void Century, and I think they know that they have enemies that can come in and out, infiltrate, do all type of crazy shit, and that's kind of the point to keep them out. We want the world to be how we know the world should be, not how it's become based on what the world government has been doing, this, that, and the third. I think that will be an excellent tie-in. As far as the God Valley incident, I damn near got a theory that Oden damn near sliced up Kaido back then. I don't think that's a new injury. I don't think that happened at the night of. I think that because if Oden was as OP as we think he is, I don't think the situation that happened 20 years ago is as easy as it seems. A lot of people say, well, yeah, he was stabbed in the back by Orochi. While I do think that that's very much a possibility, I think that there being a situation outside of his control is probably more likely. Something like him being not captured, but it being like if you don't do what I say or you don't stand down, everybody dies. And now it's like, all right, fuck, all the shit I worked for these past 20 years, 19 years, whatever the fuck, is gonna be erased if I don't do this. But I know 20 years from now, because my wife, who can see the future with her time fruit, has told me 20 years from now we'll be straight. I think that's gonna come into play. So I think his fight with Kaido that cut him up is gonna be something that happened at the God Valley incident or shortly after. I don't think this is something that happens that night, because we saw that the nigga still had Enma and the other one that I'm short for the name right now. So that'd be interesting if we get that as well. But I'm just very fucking excited for these next few chapters. I'm hoping that it's at least six chapters, at least. If you give me 10 Oda, I'm cool, because I feel like even if it's dragged out, this is information that I want. This is information that I want. We want to know about Oden. We want to know why he's such a good nigga. Like, what makes him so cold? What makes him so, likable, lovable? What is the Kozuki clan ties? All of this shit. How far back did Lady Toki come from the future? Like, how did you meet her? Like, I need to know all of that. And I'm extremely excited for that, man. But overall, it was a very decent setup chapter. I would say I give this chapter like a 7.5, realistically, out of 10. If I had to give it out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. To a 4, just because not a lot happened. The main parts that I took away from it were that, obviously we knew that Orochi fucked up somehow, so that doesn't really matter. But the Luffy finally telling about Big Mom, and then the fact that we're getting the Oden backstory. But yeah, 7.5 out of 5. As far as my thoughts on next chapter, my thoughts on, how did our guys get out of this situation, I think Drake and Law play a role in this, seeing as though Law has the power to move motherfuckers wherever he wants to move them within his room, so that plays a role, as well as actually getting to Onigashima, which we learned in this chapter is covered in winter, which we already knew, because every time we see Onigashima in the anime, it's always snowing. Even with Drake getting there, Drake knows the interest, because we saw when Drake went to Kaido, he was there. As well as the time we saw Kaido when he was looking over the bounties, it was snowing when he smacked them niggas out. Like, so we know that already, but I think Drake and Law are gonna play a big role there. But I'm just super excited for this Oden backstory, man. Like, comment, subscribe, fuck with your boy Sensei Le Glove. Follow me on Twitter at Sensei Le Glove. Follow me on Instagram at Sensei Le Glove. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter down below. Let me know what you guys thought of my review. I feel like I ain't talked to you niggas in a minute, man. I got some more content. I've been working on a couple videos, man. I'm gonna do my spring and summer 19 anime reviews for all the shit that I watched and what I thought about it. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, man, Sensei Le Glove out.